as master magician Lance Burton attempts the only escape the great Houdini was afraid to try.
When I was a kid, my worst nightmare was being buried alive. Tonight, I get to face that nightmare. Covered by 6 feet of earth, very little air, and no way for anyone to help me.
Prepare to travel back in time to explore the hidden secrets of magic. Within the mysterious world of illusion, the walls guard secrets taken to the grave and wonders that astonish magicians to this day. Prepare to discover the unexplainable as shadows from the past come alive before your eyes. Legendary cutting-edge magic from the turn of the century. A trick that fooled America's most dangerous gangsters. The original, most startling version of magic's most famous illusion. A magic trick so incredible, it actually stopped a war. And the underhanded magic of card sharks that even baffles magicians. All this and more tonight on The Hidden Secrets of Magic. Hosted by Robert Urich.
Welcome to Caesar's Magical Empire, a new showplace for magicians that's buried deep in the underground caverns below Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas. Hi, I'm Robert Urich. You know, for centuries, magicians have guarded their secrets by vows of silence, passed from master to pupil, from generation to generation. Tonight's magic tricks have one thing in common. Somewhere, at some time, the chain was broken and the secret lost. Secrets that even mystify magicians. Some of the lost secrets will surprise you, like the original version of sawing a woman in half. The original was created by turn-of-the-century magician P.T. Selbit and was first performed in 1920 in London. The audience members Selbit asked up on the stage to help were terrified the woman would be harmed. His illusion amazed all who saw it, and soon everyone tried to copy Selbit's inspiration. Magicians invented so many variations that the true secret was lost in the shuffle. Tonight, 2 amazing performers will reach back in time and dust off the original and most fascinating version. A simple wooden coffin, a stainless steel blade, and most important of all, the true secret of Selbit's success, audience members up close and involved in one of the most famous illusions in magic. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Kalin and Ginger.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you. Okay. In order to do this like the original, we needed 2 volunteers from the audience. We have them coming up right over here. Give them a nice round of applause. What's your name, sir? David, if you would stand right here. David, take a look at this. This is a neck collar. Just inspect that, make sure it's solid. And over here we have Ray. Welcome to the stage, Ray. Men, what we have here is a surgical table that was originally used a long time ago. Now, you'll notice that there's 4 holes drilled in the top. I'll show you how this works. You thread that through like so. Buckle the patient's ankles in. You've got pretty good control. If I could introduce, please, my lovely assistant and partner, Miss Ginger Lee. Oh, very nice. That's correct. You're sure you're ready for this?
Do I have a choice?
Do you have a does she have a choice, Ray? Ray says no choice. Go ahead and try those on if you want. Okay, Ginger, place your ankles in. Ray, step to the table if you would. Your job is very simple. Just buckle her ankles securely in place. Good. Nice and strong. Follow me right over here.
Nice on you.
Ginger? Right around her neck. David, buckle that around her neck. Make sure it's nice and tight, but don't kill her. You look like you've done this before. No, first time? Yeah, that's what they all say. Stand right here, both hands on the leather strap. Nice and tight. Now, David, walk backwards, don't fall off the stage, but walk backwards, pulling Ginger down to the table. Go ahead, pull, walk, go. Go all the way down, tight, tight, very tight. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go, perfect, just like that. And, hey, that works for you. I like that. If you would, just pull on the leather strap, pull her feet tightly. Good, perfect. No tug of wars. Next, the boxes. Placed directly over Ginger's frame. Their coffin-like appearance, I'm sure, doing little to comfort her. This is the part where it gets interesting. The blade. Stainless steel, Teflon coated, no stick. Obviously not the original blade, but perfect for our purposes.
Ow.
Whoa, you all right?
Yes.
Okay, Ray, if you would, step around to the front, take a look inside, verify for the audience the blade is resting directly on Ginger. It is, perfect. Step back, once again. Man, it's very important that at all times you keep a tight grip on the leather strap. Always hold Ginger, perfect, tightly to the table. Even the slightest shift or movement could have disastrous results. And that would be all your fault. Perfect. Gentlemen, hold tight.
Mark, what if I change my mind?
Gentlemen, do me a favor, step to the front, take a look inside, make sure Ginger's still buckled in place. Still buckled in, eyes open. Good. No? Step back. Sometimes the shock is just a bit much for her. No reason not to continue, as long as we move quickly. Go! That's fine. I think your half is shifted a little. Give a little quick tug. Yeah. Perfect. Glad it's not me in there, that's all I can say. Good. Simply called a lady divided pull. Thank you. Keep a tight grip on those straps, gentlemen. Take off the strap. Now, keep in mind, although the boxes are together, the blades still separate Ginger's body. Take off the boxes. There she is. Gentlemen, drop your strap. Up. You all right?
Yes.
Very good. Looks like everything's back in place. Miss Ginger Lee. Did a great job, David. Thank you so much. Excellent job.
Today, special effects are found in every film. But in the earliest days of the movies, in the late 1800s, special effects didn't exist. They were born in the imagination of magicians, many of whom were the first filmmakers. The famous French magician Georges Méliès created the earliest trick photography. People disappeared and objects popped out of nowhere. He was the first to put his magic inside the camera. Nearly a century later, Georges Méliès is remembered as the father of special effects. But while his movies brought magic to a worldwide audience, long forgotten are the ingenious secrets that inspired his films. These illusions that Méliès performed live on stage drew on a mysterious technique known as the black arts. Today, these black arts survive in the hands of a single performer, the enchanting Omar Pasha, who amazes audiences throughout the world with a magic secret over 100 years old. impossible is not a word magicians use. True practitioners of the oldest performing art believe that if it can be dreamed, it can be done. But in the early 20th century, there was one trick that magicians agreed was impossible. John Scarni was only a teenager when he perfected the trick that eventually bore his name, Scarni's Aces. And although he became the world's leading expert on gambling, nothing Scarni did ever topped his simple boast that he could take someone else's brand new deck, let them shuffle, and he'd cut to all 4 aces. Professional gamblers offered a fortune for his secret. Gangsters bullied him for the truth. Magicians studied his every move. John Scarni took his secret to the grave. Only one man refused to believe the trick was impossible. He devoted half his life to Scarni's challenge. The wizard of close-up magic, Bill Malone.
Wow, thank you very much. Now, many of you have seen magicians perform card tricks at one time or another. The big difference between a magician's trick and a gambler's trick is if a card cheat ever tried to do anything fancy like this during a game, he'd probably be caught immediately, maybe even killed. Also, these are my cards. What makes the Scarni trick so incredible is the fact that he was cheating infamous gangsters, and he was doing it with their own cards. Now, everyone, please take out the deck of cards the producers asked you to bring. Put them in the center of the table. Put them all together. Now, I want all of you to verify me. This has not been prearranged. These are the decks that you went out and purchased. We're going to play a little game. It's balloon time. I'm going to turn around. On the count of 3, I'll throw the balloon. Somebody grab it. 1, 2, 3. Did somebody get it? Who got it? Very good. Okay, what I'd like you to do is just pick up any deck you want. It makes no difference which one. It's a deck of your choice. I want you to open them up, remove the jokers, and give the cards a thorough shuffle. While he's doing that, let me tell you, the people that witnessed the Scarni Ace trick were dangerous criminals, such as the notorious Arnold Rothstein, who was even accused of fixing the World Series of 1919. George McManus, another gangster and card hustler, was also present. Now, McManus was the card mechanic. He was a true-to-life card cheat. He could do literally anything with a deck of cards. These were the types of men that wanted to see if Scarni could cut to the aces, not with his deck, but with their own shuffled cards. Okay, now the cards are shuffled. Now, I want you to notice this is the first time that I am touching this deck. Okay, I have not touched them earlier. What you're about to witness is something that puzzled even the best magicians to this day. I now attempt to recreate the legendary Scarni Aces. Scarni would start off by giving the cards a shuffle like this. Then he would cut to an ace. That's the first one, the ace of clubs. Thank you. Now, some people may think that I'm somehow able to see the cards, so would you do me a favor? Please come behind me, and what I want you to do is cover up my eyes with your hands. Wow, this feels good. John Scarni, eat your heart out. This time I'll give the cards a few shuffles while my eyes are shut, and I will try to cut to the second ace. Hopefully, if I'm right, it should be right about here. Thank you. Thank God for that one. Now, the game was called Cutting for High Card. Because this is television, we can't play for real money. But if I do cut to an ace and you want to give me a couple $100, it's up to you, okay? Let's have some fun. Would you cut the cards, please? Okay, and let's see what you cut to. You cut to a queen of hearts. That's very good. Now, that was good, but it really wouldn't have mattered what card she cut to, because Scarni would always cut to an ace. Thank you. Now, Scarni knew that it was only a matter of time before these gangsters would want to know the secret. Here's what he told them. He said that during his shuffles, he was able to actually see the ace in the deck, and not only that, but count how many cards down it was. This is what magicians say was impossible. But I'm going to tell you with 100% accuracy that the last ace is exactly 12 cards from the top. Not only that, but I'm going to cut exactly 11 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cards, and the 12th card, the ace of diamonds. Thank you. Yes.
One of the most powerful creations in magic took place nearly 150 years ago. A magical illusion that stopped a war. 1856. It was a time before television, radio, even the telephone. In Algeria, fierce warriors called the Marabout were rebelling against French rule. Marabout leaders claimed to have the forces of magic on their side. So Napoleon III gambled on the only man in France he felt could fight fire with fire, Jean-Robert Houdin. Perhaps the greatest magician of all time was also a brilliant scientist, and he turned to a new technology. Face to face with a Marabout, his only weapon was a little wooden chest. His plan was devious, rob them of their strength by proving that a small child could lift the chest, but they couldn't. And when the warriors failed, they collapsed in fear. Convinced that French magic was unbeatable, the Marabout surrendered to the most unusual fighting machine in history, which survives today in the collection of the president of the International Brotherhood of Magicians, Mr. Ken Klosterman. Ken, nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Now, so the story goes, Robert Houdin traveled to Algeria, where he met with the Marabouts face to face, and with the help of this very little chest, he helped stop a war?
If you want, I'll show you how it's done.
Please, please.
I need a little girl.
Little girl? Well, we just happen
Little
to have
French
one.
girl would be great.
Yes.
Introduce yourself to her.
Nicole? Nicole, yeah, right. I'm Robert Houdin, the famous magician. Okay? And so can you pick this up and... Very good. Thank you, Nicole. Now we need someone about the size of a Marabout warrior, and this fellow looks like he's been working out. What's your name? David. David. Okay, David. Now, I've been invested as Robert Houdin to sap all your strength. Now, just stare into my palm. You're feeling weaker and weaker. Are you getting weaker? No. All right, well, try it anyway. Give it a try there. David, just go ahead and pick it up. Stop fooling around. You're embarrassing us guys, David. One more time, pick the thing up. I don't know. It's magic. All right, Nicole, do you want to try this one more time and see if it... That's amazing. All right, Ted, that's great. Jean-Robert Houdin ended a war by combining magic with a principle in use in virtually every household in our country. Can you guess this hidden secret of magic? For centuries, people have been drawn to the sound of a shuffling deck, eager to try their luck.
You need more than luck to win in a game like this. You'd have to be a magician.
But imagine how many friendly games of poker on a riverboat, a train, or in the backroom saloon were won by a mysterious stranger. Like a real-life magic trick, he'd pick up all the money and then disappear, moving on to the next game. His real profession was cheating. The very best were never caught, but they were relentlessly tracked down by magicians who wanted to study their sophisticated sleight of hand. It's true the hand is quicker than the eye, but our next guest can actually spot a crooked gambler's tricks. We'll need the help of slow motion, but even then, be prepared. You won't believe what Steve Forty can do with a deck of cards.
Thank you. Folks, I want to show you a couple different ways you can get hustled in a card game. I want to start off with a shuffle that you'll see all over the world in casinos. Most people consider this to be the best, the safest. Watch closely. Just give this a riffle. One more time. That's a false shuffle, a bad shuffle, if you will. I just controlled 4 kings. Let's do it again. I want to show you how that's done, so I'll turn one of the kings face up so we can follow it.
In slow motion, you can see that the kings are actually cut into the center. But watch Steve hold their position and then perfectly false shuffle them back to the top.
A good hustler can control a lot more than the 4 kings. Just for example, have you got a favorite 4 of a kind? Nines. Let's see if we can find some 9s for you. Let's see what we can do here. 2, 3, 4 9s. This time we'll take it a step further. Miss, cut about half the cards and hold on to them, please. That's going to force me to deal from the very card she cut to. I'm going to make you my partner in a little poker game, okay? Let's see what happens. Say 4 5-handed, That means every fourth card is going to go to my friend over there. That's the only hand that matters. Let's see how we did. 4 kings. Thank you. Well, folks, what I just demonstrated for you is considered to be the granddaddy of all the gambling moves, called the bottom deal. Those cards a second ago are actually on the bottom of the deck.
Invisible to the naked eye, we'll see if slow motion helps. There's the first king. There's absolutely no change in Steve's hands as he deals the second king. Amazing. His fingers reach under the deck whenever he wants a king. There's 3. We'll slow it way, way down for king number 4, which only shows why the best are never caught.
Folks, this time we show you how a cheater can get your money with the control of only a single card. I'll put the king of hearts on top, and we'll deal some cards across the table. King stays on the top. This time we leave it face up so you can see. Now this is second dealing, and as the name implies, I'm dealing the second card down, basically holding the king to whenever I feel like dealing it.
Incredibly, although a king is face up, Steve can even fool slow motion. His hands hide the action as each new second card gets dealt instead of the king on top.
Thank you. Folks, we've seen some bottom dealing. We've seen some second dealing where I deal the second card down, obviously. Go down a little bit further, you start talking about dealing the middle card out of the deck. That's what I'd like to try for you now. Try to deal these 4 kings out of the center. I'm going to take this packet, turn it face up, just so you can see that first the kings are, in fact, in the middle. There are no other kings in this packet. I'll let this young lady verify that. Give it one last look. Turn them face up. Take a peek. So we can see the 4 kings in the middle. Go ahead, square them up. Make sure the cards are nice and squared. And here we go. I'm going to try to deal those 4 kings out of the center of the deck for a 5-handed game. 2. That's 5 cards. One of these cards is called the kicker. That's the kicker, and that's the 4 kings right out of the deck.
The legendary Harry Houdini, who built his worldwide fame escaping from every contraption known to man, was afraid of only one challenge: escaping from the grave. Ironically, Houdini himself first dreamed up the ultimate test of being buried alive in a coffin. He even had posters printed up announcing his attempt. But in his private thoughts, the terror always returned. He wrote about one failed rehearsal: "The weight of the earth is killing." But the challenge continued to haunt him. He carried a coffin with him on the road, hoping to master the trick. When he suddenly died on tour in 1926, that coffin became his final resting place. Lance Burton believes he's uncovered the hidden secret of the great Houdini. Tonight, from the Valley of Fire, an ancient Native American burial ground, master magician Lance Burton will attempt to break the curse on this, the ultimate challenge.
I've had time to be alone with my thoughts. For me, magic's always been about creating the next great illusion. But now, it's about something more personal. I've reflected on the lessons of Houdini. He said the biggest enemy is panic. The real opponent, fear. There's something poetic about attempting this challenge in this mysterious place. Death is no stranger to the Valley of Fire. Even the Native American tribes couldn't survive here. Of course, the escape is called Buried Alive. And to be honest with you, I've been trying to stay focused on the alive part. Let me show you what's supposed to happen if everything goes right. Here's the plan.
I'll be chained up and put in this coffin, which will be lowered 6 feet into the ground. My grave will then be filled and sealed with this metal plate.
At the most, a few minutes of air in the coffin, 4 tons of earth, and I have to hit this little target, a 30-inch hole. I really don't consider myself braver than Houdini. Maybe he just knew something that I don't.
Magicians have always been attracted to the mystery of death. This model is the only surviving blueprint for a supernatural environment that seemingly could summon ghosts from the other side. Known as the Blue Room, it was an ingenious invention where the room itself became the magician. It's almost impossible to understand the fear that a London theater audience felt in 1878 as they watched a ghost first shimmer to life from thin air. The curious sat in awe as the Blue Room's mysterious transformations took place near the back of the stage. Some people left the theater convinced they'd seen a miracle, others the work of the devil. Only the recent discovery of lost cryptic notes allowed magicians to recreate this love story that mesmerized and yet terrified Victorian viewers. Without any camera tricks, the illusion is presented here for the first time on TV. Keep your eyes on the Blue Room.
Mastering this escape has been a dream of mine. But I'll let you in on a little secret. I'm only going to do it once. I'm ready. I've spent the last year training for this escape. And above all else, I've come to respect the danger involved. Those of you watching at home must respect the warning I'm about to give you. Do not, under any circumstances, ever attempt this yourself. If you do, you're going to die. To monitor my progress, I'll be wearing this microphone. Let's go.
There are no camera tricks involved in this escape. The shot never cuts away. Lance told me that at first you hear the shovels scraping and the dirt smashing on the coffin. Then you can only hear the bulldozer. And then, nothing. Lance tries to fight his way out of the grave, what you are seeing happens in real time. Bulldozer is slipping on the sand. It's taking longer to cover the grave. Much of the magic you've seen tonight has never been seen on TV before. The illusions were lost in the sands of time. But the secrets were rediscovered by master magicians, still intrigued by the ancient challenges of life and death, fate, and the luck of the draw. Are there any other hidden secrets out there? We're looking, because the true art of the magician is to remind us of the magic that's part of our everyday lives. I'm Robert Urich. Good night.